Hello everybody, I'm here for the Hammer Game Channel. Welcome back to 1000 Week Reich and to my Serbian Chetnik movement for today. What are we going to do? I don't know. Or not. Will we get the Peer's Coronation? I don't know. Liaisons in London. When you have the completed rights of Serbian worker in the state religion. What the hell are they? Oh, trade union debate, right. Anyways, let's integrate the state guard. After our guard successfully achieved victory, over the enemy forces, let's put an end to paramilitary activities so not to deviate too much from the formal army we just begun to build, following the example of professionalism and discipline. Therefore, our first step towards that path will be integration of the state guard into our ranks to prevent incidents from happening to them. Yeah, so we also... Oh, that was quick. Jesus, was that only 7 days? Unfortunately for... Oh, it was 14 because we just done 4. Unfortunately for Serbia to be born again, it had to die. But we succeeded in our intention to revive it once again. She was attacked. She saw a lot of horror and destruction during the war. It would take decades for us to completely rebuild it. Therefore, our government has considered an initiative that will begin the reconstruction of the state in a few steps. But for now, the beginning is always the most important. We must turn our eyes to her, so not to lose her again. For Serbia. Yes, remove Serbia in ruins. That needs to go. And the ZBOR opposition. It's quite obvious that elements within the party are all the way up to the Voda. The dangerous elements of opposition must be excised from... Okay. Ah, we need to get rid of fascism. Get rid of fascism. So we'll arrest the ministers as soon as we can. They can get in the bin. Ah, civil war time. Just the way I like it. We have Bormann, Manstein, and obviously Heinrich. Okay, and we really don't care for anything else. Let's just go ahead and do the partisans' trial. After we've started the physical reconstruction of the state, we'll have to work on the mental recovery of our citizens, and the best way to heal wounds is to bring justice to all those who wanted to deprive them of their freedom. From some false hope, partisans are all now in prison awaiting trial, and perhaps it is finally time to try them for what they did during the war. Haha, the trial of Joseph Broz Tito. And all of the support for communism is going to go out the window, even though it already has. While the fascists only have 1% support. 9 days until that finishes, okay. Liberal victory in Canada. Traitors. Oh wow, fascism goes up by 1. Only issue is getting a... What is that? 85 political power. It's going to be easier said than done to get. Oh! There goes the Baltic puppet. Unification of Greater Romania. Right, let's do our trade policy. According to our provisional constitution, to be able to effect the reforms we mentioned earlier, how they will be implemented, we have formed a council in which party deputies gather and have debate on the chosen topic, voted on in the previous meeting. The first item on the agenda of this meeting was the trade policy of our country. Oh my holy mother of Jesus. The trial of Joseph Broz Tito started at 6 AM. The trial of the guilt of the accused Marshal Joseph Broz Tito continues. Ensign, bring the accused into the courtroom. The ensign introduces the accused Tito in chains. President, accused Joseph Broz, please stand for your sentence. For the sentencing. Tito gets up. The president reads, the verdict of the High Military Court of the Yugoslav Army to Marshal Joseph Broz Tito and other accused members of the political and military leadership, members of the military sabotage terrorist spy organization, was handed down at 6 o'clock in the morning, and about 500 people attended the process, while the verdict could be heard on the radio, read by President of the Court, Taneshi Desect. I definitely said it wrong. I'll ask the audience to refrain from making any comments during the sentencing, not to resent or rejoice in the verdict. Anyone who shows disrespect for this form will be removed immediately. The judgment of the High Military Court of the Yugoslav Army on behalf of the King of Fireland to the accused, Marshal Joseph Broz Tito reads, on behalf of the King of the Fireland, the Higher Military Court of the Yugoslav Army, composed of President Desic and Judge Major Milomir Samarovic, I don't know, Kornelij Prodanovic, Accentie, I don't know these names, man. All those guys in the criminal proceedings against the accused, Joseph Broz Tito and others from Belgrade. Public Prosecutor Lieutenant Vozimir Dukic, due to the criminal acts of items 13, 14 and 15 of the Decree of Military Courts, which is deemed defended by the state-provided lawyer Lukic. Judgment. Tito, locksmith by possession, a leader of the partisan terrorist movement, born in 1892 in Krnovec, under Austro-Hungarian jurisdiction, son of Franjo and Marja Broz, unmarried, childless, quote by nationality, educated locksmith. The accused, Tito, met with the occupier during the occupation 1941 to exchange forces in the fight against the Chetniks, and is guilty of crimes against humanity, terrorist attacks, looting of villages, burning of villages, killing, torture and executions, and extortion, and shall be punished with death by shooting. From the stenographic archives, trial of the members of the political and military leadership of the terrorist organisation led by Joseph Broz Tito. Rotten hell, you communist bastard. He dies. Wow, all that reading for him just to die. That's fine by me. Let's go ahead and arrest their ministers now, the ZBOR. So we get rid of them, that'll help with that, and recovering from the Civil War will eventually get rid of it as well. Which is good. The Southern Uprising. And the Uslan Civil War. Why does Bormann look like he's losing right now? Keep forgetting the French communes here. Not that they're able to do anything really. Thank you for joining us. And the Kingdom of Greece is still fighting. Wow. Seriously? They've got the British and Americans helping them? Well. And Horthy's obviously going to get kicked out eventually. Right, anyways, important politicians who managed to survive the Civil War met in the Council building, together with economists who will always somehow manage to survive any wars. We cannot blame them, and on the other hand, we can. Today, they gathered in the council to lead a debate in which economic direction Siberia should move. During the conversation, many ideas managed to break through to the very thought of the same, but in the end, the two became very influential and very simple at the mention of the very name of the economic policy. This gentleman proposed the idea of self-sustainability, which aimed at the economic independence of Siberia, while Purich proposed the idea of a free trade to create better relations with foreign powers. During the full 12 hours debate before the chamber, voting could finally take the stage, and the policy advocated by both parties could be voted on. Free trade or autarky? I kind of feel like going to free trade's not the worst, because I can always change it back on the export focus anyways. Yeah, let's go free trade. Let's work with the other powers of the world. Anyways, the rights of the Serbian worker, not Siberian. Because I need to do both of these before we can do... So this is going to be interesting. Anyways, rights of the Serbian worker. We convened a new meeting of the council and a new debate to discuss whether a Serbian worker deserves a decent life, and why not. We can only hope that this debate, like the last one, will not end after a full 10 hours, and that we will be able to do something useful in terms of the interest of the state. We sincerely hope for the best. Yes, we do. When do we get recovering from this? Oh, right, that gets slightly modified from those. Trust in the cabinet. War reaches the fjords. Restored in Denmark. What? Partisan mindset. Yeah, what the? Yeah, if we look at this, what do I want? Transition to democratic transitions. No. Hungarian Revolution. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going democratic. I can get in the bin. The race ends? What bloody race? It'd be nice to have Peter coronated though. Iceland has left the Toronto Accord. Okay. Good for you, I guess. Yeah, I think Bormann's gonna lose this. I really do. How much longer will this take? I don't think I'll be able to last. You think I want... You think I want to last? Although only 8 hours have passed since the debate began, it seemed to everyone that time had stopped after the first moment when Puric entered the scene, saying words against Mihailovich, while he countered that Puric was a corrupt politician, hungry for power, and so on. Are you going to interrupt this colleague? A colleague looked at him confused. How the fuck didn't I remember that? At the moment when Mihailovich, I don't know how to pronounce that, suggested the best idea was to ban the work of all trade unions, and Puric countered with statements claiming that the workers are the heart of the country. The president of the council intervened by striking his council with a hammer, interrupting the debate. Please, gentlemen, let us end this senseless quarrel and proceed to vote. So ban trade unions or controlled trade unions. Ban them. They can get in the bin. We're not having any trade unions. The old Banats? We're meeting again. The council discussed the policy of our state, and yesterday it was decided to take into account our Banats as example and debate on how we will form the internal image of our state, or more simply, whether Serbia will be more centralized with its centers. In Belgrade, or the centers that would otherwise be in Belgrade would be decentralized to be scattered across the country. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think that was the best approach. Ban the trade unions. Although I don't have any political bloody power. Can I have some PP? There's some PP, but it's not going to get us to 85. People stand out in our government. They are not ordinary outsiders or new politicians who think they know what's best. Draza, leader of the Chetnik resistance during the European War and occupation, and a Puric conservative liberal who served the king government during exile. Yeah, Puric, you could get in the bin, mate. God does not seem to be helping us today, but we hope that he will have mercy on our souls so that we do not experience a catastrophe of duration like last time at the debate, when we stayed for over 10 hours. Stop hitting me with that. Not leaving the room because Puric and Mihailovich were not allowed anyone to leave the main hall of the chamber. Today the only item on the agenda is the issue of secularization, and the issue of the orthodoxination of the state as during the pre-war period. The next debate, lasting 14 full hours, wow, it's getting worse, finally seemed to be coming to an end. This time the same participants in the debate were the same supporters during today's debate in the council. There was a heated debate about whether it was better to run a centralised industry and economy, or with a smaller steel first run by industry and the economy. A strict centralisation of the power of the economy was necessary because the state knew what it needed, while Purics believed that the best way was to open a fist and allow people to give themselves what they needed. The debate, after it came to an end, reached for an urgent vote because the debate was getting out of control. Centralisation takes down consumer goods, which I'm always happy with. Max factories plus 15. Yeah, sorry, decentralization is not what I'm interested in at all. So, win over the city folks, win over the farmers. We're actually making pretty good progress through this. Do want to get the Peter's Coronation. Country safe, reconstruction may not be complete, but we're on track. Yep, we don't care for any of that. For King in the Fatherland. Invite him back. Where is he currently chilling? I could do with actually building an army. Then again, we don't really have a military industry, do we? No, we don't really have industry full stop. Which shall make things interesting if we're to... I'm presuming once we've done Peter II's coronation, we will unlock another part of the tree. How strong are you? 6 to 30. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. If I can take up Banats, that would be nice. Right, state religion policy. Jesus Christ, if you're in heaven, can you help me get away from the idiots? The president consulted himself. Well, oh, they're both going at it again. Yeah, we're going to go for the Orthodox dominance, which is killing our stability. But hey, the Prague Uprising. We can now bring order to the chaos. We are back, but we found the massive chaos left behind, and we will need a period during which we will have to work hard to restore the order we lost during the war. And, to be honest, in the war period, which is fortunately now behind us, may God help us, because only He could help us bring her back. Yeah, thanks for the political power, but... am I going to be able to get to 85? More than 100 political power. So I might just have to not do focuses. To people stand out? Right, yes, we know that. So now they stand as leaders of two important factions in the council, and sparks of a bad nature can be seen during meetings when the two of them find themselves in the same place. Yes, it's hindering our progress. The fools. Oh, look, Slovenia just popped up. Right, liaisons in London. We're going on a trip. The Swiss Revolution. Henry Gusan, if I pronounced that correctly. He's back. He's rising up once again. Because he always does. We've seen this multiple times now. I think we have a factory on artillery, if I'm remembering correctly. No, we don't. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. I'm really hoping we get some... Oh, what on earth is that? Right, the race of the conservative turtles. When it was all over, Puric headed up to his office, visibly upset because he had heard earlier in a debate that he and Mihailovich had been characterized as conservative racing turtles. He started digging through his drawer until he found a pile of documents that were titled after Mihailovich's name and classified under strict secrecy. Puric started flipping through the pages, reading nicely arranged sentences, words that accused Mihailovich of cooperating with the occupier during the European War. That is when Nedich and the Germans. He'd been thinking for a long time what to do with Draza, but the debates killed him mentally, and he had no more patience for Draza's tricks. He had to do something drastic now. He wanted to end this once and for all, and for Draza to be re-educated. Leaving the file on the table, he left the room. He had an informant in Puric's ranks, which provided him with a significant advantage, but Puric was not as stupid as a sack full of handles. A sack of tatties would have been better in there. He knew that something was being prepared, and that Draza would try something. He just had to be ready for his every step. During one debate, this time unimportant, everyone looked at them with a horrified, suspicious look because they were not arguing. They were already sitting quietly and waiting for each other to cheat and to head towards Puric's office. Puric knew the one who does not risk that he cannot profit, and Draza noticed his movement. He fell into Puric's trap. Now the real race of conservative turtles could begin because Puric started running towards his office. But Draza, an expert in guerrilla warfare, knew how to avoid narrow passages, while dragging himself through with the Chetniks, all during the fight with the Germans. Puric occasionally looked behind him, and the charge bearer was always a little behind him. Get away from me, you have nothing to ask of me. Puric spoke to him, while people watched it as the two fools were doing again. What the fuck is wrong with them? I have no idea if you believe me. I don't believe you, but it doesn't matter. Puric burst into the office. Draza slammed the door, opening it like a bear. Now it's time to decide the question would be decided. Will Puric manage to save Draza's file, or Draza managed to overpower Puric and steal the file? A partisan mindset. Yes, Draza overpowers Puric, grabbing the files. Boom. The veteran's glory. But we're going to just not do that focus for a wee bit. Because, great, now I have the race of the conservative turtles. Fantastic. Yep, okay, more wars breaking out. Which we have very little care in, to be completely honest. We are only interested in, well, getting enough political power to bloody do this. Whoa! You cheeky buggers. Traitors. Yeah, they're probably gonna beat me. Or maybe not. Yeah, I feel like this is the best way to get that. I need to deal with them because they're just gonna be a pain in the backside for... Should be like 15 more days. We're actually winning here. We were winning here. We are winning here. Yeah, if we win, we don't exactly get a lot, to be fair. The Danish state is now being invaded. The Toronto Core just does not like anybody being in any other kind of ideology. They just go, oh, yep, we'll just invade you. 2 to 8 divisions. Chaos and Banats. What did you end up doing? Doesn't matter. We don't care. Banat intimidation. The SS Slugs and Platter launch a minor invasion of Serbian borderlands. They're clearly time to test our limits, and while it might be logical to enforce our borders, the condition of our state guard is questionable. We suffer more from responding than ignoring. Respond with force. I hope that doesn't mean war. Because that would be awkward, wouldn't it? Crush the opposition. Boom. And the veterans' glory. We have already mentioned once, many died unconditionally seeking the salvation of the state, which briefly drowned in the dark, and many survived, but it did not come out of the war whole, mutilated mentally and physically. Glory must not remain unrecognized as long as we are in this government, and the future of everything is ready for the return of the king. Long live the veterans, heroes of the war, and long live freedom. Ah, freedom. Ah, we failed at the border. God damn. Oh well, we've got another one. And who the hell are you? Bakovic. I didn't realize we had a female general. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I just didn't realize we had one. Right, they're making moves again, but that's not really going to do anything. Saint Sava's blessing. Now unofficially, our temporal government has been approved by the top of the Serbian Orthodox Church, so we can form the already mentioned temporary government until the return of the king. Outsmarting the snake. I feel like Puric is going to be killed off, which really wouldn't be a shame. Aha! We're going to win this one. Yeah, that's what I like to see, boys. So, oh, you're only level 1. Not exactly the best we've got, but you know what? We're gonna keep you. Jude. Offensive. Charismatic. Let's just get on that border because we know exactly what we're going to be bloody doing. Kicking their ass at some point. So hopefully by the end of today's episode we can get Peter coronated. Well, we definitely should be. North Sea naval exercises. Oh, America. America. Are you doing it? Are you hopping on in? Are you going to be invading the Germans? Excuse me, Civil War seems to be getting even more of a stalemate. Although Bormann's lost a lot of troops in there. And it looks like the Germans are going to be finished off in Poland. Damn the day, Puric, when I decided to believe your lying mouth. Draza, you will go to prison once, one way or another. That file that you now hold in your hands has been printed in several copies. Puric laughed falsely from the floor. Well, Draza was not stupid as previously hinted. If the file was printed in multiple copies, why did we race to your so carefully forged documents? Puric now understood. Maybe he outplayed Draza. He outplayed. Get out of here so my eyes don't see you, Draza told Puric, who left the office. Well, Draza put the file in his bag. I'm gonna have to get rid of this. How did he find out about this? Doesn't matter now, because he's been dealt with. So let's win over the Safefolk. People must not be neglected, not even under the point of miscellaneous. We will continue to win people over by starting investments, political action in the cities, so we can win them over. Yes, yes, yes. 555 to you. Okay, and that'll be 555 as well. So we're going to take off 10 off of the 3 main things, which is just going to leave us with minus 10 and 10 for the consumer goods. The consumer goods almost has, actually nope, that's been kind of counteracted a little bit. Oh, I can't wait to crown Peter. It's going to be a glorious day, and Draza's influence is pretty high now. And yes, the traitors are speaking out again. Good for them. I feel like you're 3 to 15 divisions. The thing is though, if I know the AI, they're going to be useless. The AI will not be able to take us down. The Mediterranean Union. What are you up to, Mussolini? Not that you have any mates anyways. Right, one of the farmers. The war polluted their water, destroyed their crops, and brought the plague to them. We will wait for that to happen again and for it to continue. Oh no, right, I read that completely in the wrong kind of tone there. We're going to try and help them so that doesn't happen again. I'm surprised you haven't been as aggressive. You've kind of just stopped. And Franco's still here. Well, and the UK completely owns Denmark, near enough. Copenhagen is holding. 1 to 5. Armenia. So they have a little thing. Ah, the Accord occupation will be what they're now doing. Fight for the here. Or Danish neutrality. Return of the monarchy. Okay. The Ravnagora dossier. Every government hides some secrets and scandals no one wants to be revealed. The liner drawer. Do not want to come out hidden in the closet, and everyone knows that they must always be revealed because they are secrets like doors that are only slightly open to indicate the path that leads to their discovery. And it takes strong action once to always prevent its existence and the possible leakage of confidential matter what exists in them. The question is it wise to discover them or to destroy them? I believe it would probably be to destroy them. Unremarkable industry. Sad times in the Treaty of Honolulu. Let's just get this sorted. Oh, Peter's gonna be coming home. I don't know if he's gonna lead our government, like, he might just be here. The end of the race. Yeah, Peter's coronation. And the fire was small, but it was liberating, while Draza watched it. The file from Ravnagora has finally reached this day when it will no longer be able to blackmail anyone or remind them of the desperate measures that they had taken for the fight for freedom to continue. Every incriminating information was in that file, which Purge found during the search of the communist strongholds, in which the communists planned to accuse Draza of high treason and destroy the last faith in God for the people. Draza was like fire. The more it burned, the more magnificent and liberating it seemed, until it burned completely and relieved Draza of any responsibility for cooperating with the occupier. Chetniks prevail. And all that remains... Oh, look at that, we are... Oh, we've completely got rid of that Serbia thing. That's pretty good. Yes, Draza holds on. So now we've taken care of everything. The country is safe. Reconstruction may not be complete, but we're on track to achieve it successfully. Paramilitary organizations that have started a civil war or have been eliminated or in prison, and it can be said with certainty that the state is ready for our destiny under the monarchy, as befits her. We can invite Peter II to return to Serbia so they can put crown on his head and lead us into the future for the king and the fatherland. Ah, welcome home, Peter, and the Swiss have got their independence. King Peter II, surrounded by the presidency, government and members of the National Assembly, takes the oath of office in the constitution of this day and is crowned king of all Yugoslavia. The ceremony was attended by masses of people who were ready to welcome the company king from the church to the constitution, where he was presented with a crown and given a blessing by the patriarch. The constitution awaited him. Arriving there, they made a passage to the newly crowned king, who readily laid his hand on the constitution, accepting the proposal given to him to return the throne and the right acquired by birth, but to respect the rights of all citizens and accept to be a government figure. Accompanied by a huge applause of the people, he arrived safely in the White Palace, from where his rule as a legitimate king could begin. Ah, long live the king! And we are now the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, and there is Peter, obviously looking much older now. And we do now have a pretty nice tree. Self-Slavs on the world stage. Okay. Meet the old bosses. What the hell that? Or liberate the sons. What's this? After lengthy preparations, we're ready to return to the old traditions. Those that encompass the whole of Yugoslavia during the good old days. We'll have to be very careful with our rhetoric. It can throw us into different shit if we are not careful enough. So we'll start with the basic step, that is to bring back our old boss named His Royal Highness to guide us through these difficult times ahead for the king. So we gain cores on a whole load of land. Okay. Rebuild the Royal Navy. The General. So, as complete the focus to Self-Slavic salvation. Where the hell is that? Oh, Royal. If you take this focus, the Yugoslav resistance movement decision won't be available anymore. Yeah, I don't want to become greater Serbia. I want to be the kingdom. Am I blind? I guess we'll start with Self-Slavic salvation. Anti-German. I honestly cannot bloody see it. Bring Banat into the fold. Okay, anyways, I feel like we're probably going to end up just working down this. So let's go ahead and start with the general. Draza led the nation with exceptional success after the collapse of the Yugoslav army and the very course of the occupation, and finally leading the nation to the civil war against the communists and fascists. Therefore, he shall be given supreme command of the army of Serbia, as befits an army general of his rank. Yes, give him the power. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that episode there, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall be back with another episode very soon. So until then, take care. Goodbye, and then